Okay, a lot of times I'm asked, hey, how do I plant my water lily? The first thing you need to know is what kind of water lily do you have? Is it a hardy or is it a tropical? Because what you have depends on how you're going to plant it. They are planted differently. Tropicals are planted right in the center of a base or whatever kind of container you got in. The container is best to be a little wider than it is deep, not like a traditional flower pot. Hardies you want to plant on an edge going towards the center because it's going to go horizontally, and if you plant it right against the edge the wrong direction, it's going to be stunted right into that corner. It's going to bend. It's either not going to produce or it's going to break through your pot. Let me show you some differences and similarities between the same plants. This is a tropical water lily. This plant actually has never seen a pot. This was a viviparous pad that was thrown into a pool full of vivips, and as they disintegrate, they make this little mulm, and then plants grow. So this plant I just pulled out of a vivip pool. As you can see, it's a very healthy plant, never been fertilized, never been put into a pot. It's just a happy little plant. This is a hardy. This has been planted. Now, if you can look at these and see the difference, this is a very thick root, very heavy. Even on a big tropical, they're not as thick. These are kind of soft, where these are actually pretty firm. It gets confusing though when people are looking at hardies and tropicals, because when a plant is grown for a full season on a tropical, it looks a lot like a hardy as far as the stalk. A tropical performs by making tubers. Hardies are rhizomes, big roots. Let me see if I can get this in, see if you can get a better look. Now, if you look through here, you can see the root, and see how the root stock has roots coming off from all different ranges, top and they go down. They all go the same direction. The plant itself is coming right off the tip. So if this thing was 5 foot long, it would basically have the main plant at the tip. You can break it off anywhere you want behind here, as long as you keep this and the main set of roots underneath the plant. You cut it off right here, this will live. The interesting thing is though, if you look right here, these are some offshoots that it was preparing to do. So are these. So if we were to cut it here, these roots coming from this would support this. So this could easily become 1 plant, 2 plants, 3 plants, 4, 5. Now, I wouldn't normally whack this all up in 5 pieces. I just plant it myself. But if I needed to send one to somebody, I might just take this, send it to them. That way I've still got growing rootstock for later on. The tropical, as you can see, it gets this little black fleshy piece. That's the way it goes. Now, once it's gotten really large, it looks kind of like this. And you'll notice that looks like a long root. It looks somewhat like the hardy. The difference is the roots come down from the tropical and go this way. They're not going to come down the sides, okay? That's one of the ways you're going to know. Even on this one, you can see it's staying right below the plant, okay? So if I had to, I could snap this root stock off and the plant would survive. It doesn't need this. This was what it started from, but it doesn't need that any longer. Now, you never want to throw away a rhizome or rootstock, whatever you want to call it, because they'll go dormant. And in my case, we just came out of winter. I had my wife's fish munching on everything that they could get their hands on. So all of these things down here were essentially dead. They look like this. They didn't have anything on it, no plant. This is rotting down into here, okay? But what you do, if it's starting to rot, whack it off, cut it off. You don't want the root, the rotted part, to stay, because it will eventually work its way all the way up. What you do, you cut it in such a way that it's still going to be sealed by water, and then you just float it. these have been just floating in a bucket of water, and you can see there's multiple plants here coming off this thing that was 2 weeks ago essentially dead. Same with this. And another. Now this is a night bloomer. I want to show you something different about night bloomers. We're on this other side. Night bloomers make little round balls, tubers, and actually I just lost the piece that I was going to show you. You'll see there's a piece coming right here, a little root. Night bloomers will propagate by stolons. In other words, they'll send off little shoots, and that shoot will be where the plant comes from. In other words, it didn't start inside here and come out. It shot out something, then began to grow. This can be planted. Now that it's got like 3 little roots, it will survive. If you have one like this, there you go. This one I just put in a bucket a couple days ago. This actually has plants coming from a couple different spots. So once this gets growing, I will go ahead and end up with more than one plant out of this. Now see, this ball here, I could separate it here just by gentle twisting action, and odds are I would get another plant from there. But right now I don't have time to plant this up, so I'm not gonna do that today. I want to show you colorata. This is the species lily, and it is extremely adept at tubering. This was out of a container that already has been repotted once this season, but it still has a lot of little tubers. If you see here, I'll pull this free. There's about 7 plants right there. I'll put them back into the wet water. This is a tuber. Oh, there's another little plant. This is a tuber with multiple tubers on it. This is a big one. This is a small one with a plant. This is a smaller one with a plant and some algae. There's algae. But as you can see, if I were to go through and separate all these little tubers, I'm going to get multiple plants. That's just a little Q&A, question answer, how to on figuring out what it is you've got. Basically, it's tropical. It's going to grow straight up and down. Doesn't matter what this piece looks like. If it's a hardy, it's going to grow horizontally. Now it's going to grow horizontally this direction. But the fact that these shoots are going here and these are going to go there, this plant would actually be going in 3 separate directions. So if I was planting it into a pot and I'm going to leave it like it is, I would put this budded end against an edge, against a corner, and let it go over, up, and up. We'll be back in a few minutes showing you how to actually plant each of these. Hope this was helpful.